Hello, stars. My name is Blue, and today we are lost in Hiveswap Friendsim. We are on the friend select screen because this is the last, quote unquote, last episode of Friendsim. And we're going to be experiencing these twins. I have already done this. If you watched my shitty 4-minute vlog, you know exactly what was going on, and hopefully it's all fixed, and hopefully in the middle of this recording it doesn't just break on me. It was fine in Wednesday's video, so I'm hoping it's going to be fine today. Anyways, if you know any interesting routes for any of our lovely friends, troll kids, do let me know in the comments below, and I will make a sticky note if we haven't done them already, and we will go back after the epilogue and we will explore those routes. I have 2 right now, and hopefully we can get more, because I know I love this series, and I think it'd be very sad if I'd be very sad if it ended, which it's unfortunately going to be here pretty soon. But with that being said, let's get into it. I've been rambling for a minute. We read this in our last Friendsim episode. And so today, we are doing Barzum and Basil. Barzum and Basil. I figured out how to pronounce this the last episode, the last time I recorded it, but it's gone now. Last time we did land, and now we're doing the lovely twins. You've gotten pretty good at the old friend-making game by now, but even an old hand at pelling around like you, a real platonic Lothario, has bad nights sometimes. Tonight was one of those nights. It's getting close to morning, and not a new friend in sight. You'd meet new people, sure, but none of your conversations have panned out the way you wanted them to. Every interaction has come to a close with your friend count no higher than what you started, no matter how many compliments, offers to help, and other tried and true friending strategies you'd whip out. You won't stand for it. You're determined to finish out the night with at least one more new buddy's name in your little black friendship book. But with the sun about to rise, you have to admit you're cutting it a little close. As each minute ticks by, the sky gets a little lighter, and the possibility of dying an agonizing, fiery death gets higher. Maybe it'd be best for you to just pack it in and find somewhere to spend the day. You pick up your trusty palm husk and call up one of your many friends you've already have asked if you could crash. Hell, maybe Skyla will be up for sharing a recrupacoon again. The soothing ooze has kind of grown on you, and sleeping next to Skyla always makes you feel so comfy and safe. Turns out Skyla is more than down with you coming over. Time to make tracks. You turn tail and hurry in the direction of Skyla's digs, but it's not long until you run into a distraction. That distraction is in the form of a house. It's a dark, crooked thing, hulking close to the ground. Slattered wood walls, sloping roofs, vines cling to it like dust and cobwebs cling to forgotten things in the attic. Something about it feels off. It possesses a certain energy that sends shivers up your spine, making your hair stand on end. An instinct deep in your gut is telling you to give it a wide berth. On the other hand, it's shelter. Skyla's place is ways off yet. While the house is right here in front of you, it could be worth seeing if whoever lives here is willing to put up with you for the day. Approach the house. There's nothing else for it. You make your way towards the house, even though everything inside you is screaming at you to stay away. Even though with every step you take, your chest tightens and your hands tremble. By the time you reach the door, you're shaking like a leaf. Adrenaline zings through you. You could choke on it. You want to run, but you force yourself to keep moving forward. It's a slow motion race between you and the sunrise. At this rate, the sun will make it all the way up into the sky before you can even knock. You drag yourself the rest of the way, stumbling onto the front step. The door knocker is an intricate yet grotesque thing. An undilating tongue lolling out of a sharp set of teeth, all in cast iron. You grab a lumpy end of the tongue and bang it against the door. Nothing. Fuck. Maybe you'll get lucky and the door will be open? Out of options, you reach out and turn the doorknob. You can feel the first licks of sunlight against the back of your neck. Is it just you, or is your skin starting to blister? But today's your lucky day. The door opens. You should feel overjoyed at your life being spared. Instead, your focus is fully on how the roiling in your belly has bloomed fully into nausea. Keeping the distance unexpectedly is the peal of sirens. An insistent whining noise that only continues getting louder. You shouldn't have come here. But it's not like you had another choice. You might as well see what awaits you inside. But as soon as you cross the threshold, the world lurches and you pass out. You come to in a different room than the foyer, head ringing like someone just whacked it. When you move to sit up, there's a sound of skittering all around you, like hundreds of tiny insects are scurrying away for safety. Had they been roving the floor while you were knocked out? Gross. You prop yourself back out in your hands and take a look around. Your impromptu nap has done nothing to assuage the deep sense of wrongness you have about this place. But hey, maybe you've managed to sleep through the day. Maybe the sun has set again so you can get the hell out of here. This sense of optimism is misplaced, probably, but it's not as if you can chuck. There are no windows. You cast your eyes around the room. Beneath the floral, peeling wallpaper, the walls are riddled with damp and mold. And on the other side of the room, an open door. Thank fuck. You aren't locked in then. You can go look for somewhere else in this place that might have got a damn window. You step into a long, widening corridor. It's so cramped you feel almost as though the walls are closing in. While it had been warm enough outside, in here a deep chill settles over you, sinking deeper into your bones. You're half convinced you'll never be warm again. Emanating from somewhere you can't see is music, teeny and rhythmic. Soon, it's interrupted by a crackling noise, like someone is trying to tune in to the correct station on a radio. Then, one of the picture frames lights up. Looks like it was actually some sort of TV screen. Welcome. Welcome! We're glad you're awake. And that you came to visit us! We've been really bored in this stinky house. It really sucked. We could have just died from how boring it was. Two voices, one monotone and so quiet that you can barely hear it. The other shrill, dramatic, like its owner never learned the meaning of the words indoor voice. Catching what the quieter person is saying isn't made any easier by the high-pitched giggling that starts up in the background whenever they start speaking. So hurry up and find us! We want to play a game. Gee, why do those words give you such a profound sense of deja vu? The line goes dead. At the same time, a door pops open on the other end of the corridor. You're meant to go through it, you guess. You'd rather go somewhere else. Anywhere else, other than through that door. But there's nowhere else to go. Or is there? Approach the door. Your weariness only intensifies once you set off down the hall because the walls start fucking bleeding. You've seen enough troll blood at this point to be able to recognize it. Multicolored streams ooze over the wallpaper and faded portraits lining the wall, collecting and congealing in sticky, viscous puddles on the floor. The narrow highway becomes steeped in the stench of copper. You walk faster, but the streams of blood follow you, sluicing down from the ceiling as quickly as you walk. You reach the door, eager to get away from the grisly sight. You throw it open, but, oh god, you hadn't considered what might be waiting for you behind it. What if these two shady characters plan to torture you, tie you up, and steal your promise? Texting embarrassing messages to your friends while you can only look on in horror, helpless and unable to intervene. Anything but that. It's too dark to see anything. All you can do is fumble and feel around with your hands. Getting out of the room again is a no-go. The door swung shut behind you as soon as you stepped inside. You shuffle forwards on wobbly legs. The floor seems unstable somehow, like it's going to open up and swallow you at any moment. Would it be a good idea to call out and see if anyone's here? You manage a feeble hello? Your voice echoes. Soft laughter reverberates back in response. You catch a glimpse of something in the corner of your eye, a flash of purple. There's a sensation of eyes in the back of your neck watching you, but you can't discern where the other presence in the room is. If there even is one. You kind of hate this. Of all the shitty welcomes you've received, this one takes the cake. You have to get out of here. You try to gather your panicked thoughts together to formulate a plan, but before you can do anything, a series of ropes appears seemingly from nowhere, coiling tight around you and holding you down. You're finally here. We've been waiting for you! A light comes on. It's not the warm, burning rays of sunlight. This room is windowless too, but a spotlight, bright and harsh. It lights up a broad swath of the room, bleaching it in white and sending long shadows stretching away from it. You can see your captors more clearly now. Two purple-blood kids. Aside from their expressions, they look exactly the same. A manic glint sparkles in the eye of one of them, as sharp as his razor blade grin. The other looks more hesitant, almost sad. Basley? We're Basley! And Barzum. You're the alien, aren't ya? You look weird. Your body's real weird. We wonder what color your blood is. Or how springy and slimy your acid tubes are. They squirm around like slither beasts when we slice open trolls' bellies. Are yours the same? You struggle against your bonds. You have no idea what acid tubes are, but you'd much rather they stay inside your body where they belong, thanks. You thought you'd move past the days where you had to serve as a torture muppet. All you needed was a few hours of shelter from the sun, and if it's safe to go outside again, you'd really like to leave. This was the wrong thing to say, apparently. The twins leer at you disapprovingly. Or, well, one of them looks so disappointed that he might burst into tears. The other just looks pissed. No way! We told you. We've been so bored. Do you know what it's like? To be all alone? With no one else to play with? For wipes? We might have each other. We're never truly alone. But that makes it... Well, that's what makes us being so great. No, not gonna try that again. But it's a little difficult to play pranks on someone who always knows what you're thinking and feeling. Wait, you thought Barzum was the quiet one and Basley was the loud one. But it looks like you were mistaken? Or did they switch? If you weren't faced with the prospect of having your innards yanked out and played with by bloodthirsty children, you might be more puzzled by their statement. As it stands, you have more pressing problems on your mind right now, so their words more or less fly over your head. You squirm harder, even though it doesn't do any good. In fact, it just makes the twins madder. Sadder? You settle on smatter. Disgruntled, maybe, MC? Stop trying to get away! It's always like this. No one ever wants to play with us. We hate it. Now hold still! You look at them beseechingly, trying to appear as small and helpless as possible. Maybe it's a little pathetic giving puppy dog eyes to literal children, but you lost track of your own dignity a long time ago. They're not really going to do this, right? A noise starts up. It sounds suspiciously like a chainsaw. And is it just you, or is the scent of raw meat in the air? Where the hell is that coming from? You continue straining in your bonds, your stomach clenching in fear, bile rising at the back of your throat. They're not actually going to hurt you, right? Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh. You wake up, gasping. But you aren't strapped down anymore. You're in the same room that you were in the beginning. What happened? The room hasn't changed since you've been gone. There's still only one way out. You really, really don't want to step through that door again, but what else are you gonna do? You step through the door. There's that radio crackling again. Welcome. Welcome! We're glad that you're awake. Their little greeting goes on just like it had before. A pre-recorded message, maybe? Your heart pounds as you step through the second door. You're hoping you'll be able to sidestep the ropes this time, but instead of getting tied up, you trip forward into a vat of what feels like glue. You were lucky enough to have turned your face away from the stickiness so your nose is still above the surface, so you can breathe. For now, anyway. But you can't move. You're finally here. We've been waiting for you! They're acting like this is the first time all over again. What is this fuckery? Are they messing with you? You met already, mere minutes ago. No, we would have remembered. Meeting a weirdo like you? Stop trying to trick us. Everything goes black for the third time. And here you are again. Welcome. Welcome! Are you for real? This time, you get shoved into a box. You're pretty sure you pass out while you're in the middle of getting buried alive. You come to in the room that you're beginning to think of as yours, yet again. You pass out 5 times, 10. You're beginning to lose count. You never pass out at the same point during the twins' shenanigans, but it inevitably happens. And you always end up right back where you started. The worst part is that while your conversation with the twins stay the same, the way they trap you changes. You get trussed upside down from the ceiling, dunked into a water tank, scrambling to get out what your lungs begin to burn from lack of air. Every time you black out before you can die, but you've almost died dozens of times by now, and it's really beginning to stress you out. You have been stuck in some sort of time loop. You see this sort of thing in movies all the time, and everyone knows that movies are the best points of reference for one's actual life. The hero wakes up to the strains of an old pop song playing on the radio and reminisces over their childhood journals, which sends them back in time where they have to stop a crime before it happens. Or maybe you were thinking of a different movie. Anyway, your point is that you had to find a way out of the loop. Hopefully you won't have to do anything too wild, like stab your past self and then throw your own bloodied corpse out of the window. That would really, really blow. Unfortunately, you can't seem to find any clues indicating on what you should do next. You always pass out. The twins are always excited to play with / torture you. They don't seem to be aware of that any of this is happening, from what you can tell. After around 20-something or other, you've had enough of it. Enough is enough, and you can't take any more giggling, any more of that hard damp floor, any more excruciating games. You might not be any closer to figuring out what to do, but you have to try something. Remember who you are. There's one thing you've been doing wrong. Making this all about escape. You've been so preoccupied with not getting sliced to pieces with knives and everything that you've lost track of what's really, truly important. The word echoes from your heart when you rise at dusk and pulses through your bloodstream during the rest of your waking hours until it's time to go to sleep. The word that's kicked off every single narrative you've starred in thus far. Friendship. You'll do things differently this time. You're going to bring yourself to truly care about these creepy clown children, goddammit, even if it's the last thing you do. And with the way things are going, it very well could be. Their MO is oddly benign this time, a tickling machine. Unfortunately, it's a little difficult for you to talk to them through the laughter. What are those noises they're making? I think they're trying to tell us something. Miraculously, the tickling stops. You ease, trying to catch your breath, hoping to God you haven't peed. You've managed not to wet yourself out of fear until now. It'd just be the worst thing if you've broken your streak due to laughing too hard. What is it about clowns and divesting your body weight and you divesting your body of waste? After assuring yourself that your underwear is blessedly dry, you ask, what if they kill you, won't they just be alone again? How is that beneficial for anyone? They'll be bored and you'll be, dead, which you'd really rather not be. Their creeping saturnine smiles transform into matching expressions of confusion. Friendsim puts a finger to his chin, cocking his head to one side as if in deep thought, almost like a puppy. Under any other circumstances, you might even consider it cute. What are you talking about? We don't want to kill you! Maybe just cut you up a little. You'll heal right back up again. Don't be such a wiggler. Some of the things I tried to inflict on you would have definitely taken more than your regular healing functions to recover from. Oh god, we were doing pretty nicely and now we're messing up. But wait, you think back to Ramel taking a whole ass club in her side and acting like it was no big. She said something about higher blood colors being able to take more of a beating too. Are the twins assuming that that's the case for everyone? God, this is what happens when all the adults in a society go off-planet and leave a bunch of zoo animals to bring up their kids. Or, well, trolls also solve most of their problems by killing each other. You can't discount that either, you suppose. You take a closer look at the twins. There isn't any malice in either of their faces. There's only one emotion you can discern. Idle curiosity. You decide to take that as encouragement. You explain that, no, you won't heal up from being sliced open, or from an on-fire scuttlebuggy being flung at your head, because you're a human, and humans heal differently from trolls. Well, differently from high-blood trolls, at least. You even use your best babysitter voice for a good measure. You feel like you're giving a stern talking to about the importance of taking care of one's toys so that they don't break. Instead, you propose, why don't you just be friends? You could all play together, instead of you being the, subject of their torment. They'll be able to play with you for longer that way, too. They give you a strange look. Friends? What's that? Do people not agree to be their playmates very often? No. Usually everyone runs in the other direction, so we have to catch them. Or trick them. That explains a lot. You think you're beginning to understand. If they let you down, you can try to show them what you had in mind. They do. They actually free you. They turn all the lights on in the room too, so you can finally see everything in it. It's bigger than you expected, and set up like a circus tent. A wire is suspended along the ceiling. A person-sized target on the board rotates at dizzying speeds against the back wall. Juggling clubs, knives, scarves, and other props are piled across the floor. You recognize a few mechanisms they had inflicted on you before. It's pure chaos. So, what else do they do with all this stuff? They're still staring at you as if they weren't quite sure how to deal with you engaging with them voluntarily. You feel pretty tentative with yourself. This whole interaction seems incredibly precarious. You're afraid that if you make a misstep, you'll end up back on the tickling rack again. This isn't ours. We found it when we got here. But it does look a lot like what's in our hive. We can do shows. And stunts. All kinds of cool stuff. Fuck. Even when they aren't threatening you, the way they talk in chorus like that freaks you out a little. In perfect unison, like they're one voice instead of two. You shake off your fears and suggest that they show you a little something. They seem to like that idea. Excitedly, they scurry over to a target board. One twin stands against it, while the other picks up a handful of throwing knives. You're anxious. You don't exactly want them to rough up each other instead of you, but Friendsim just throws the knives in a graceful arc. They surround Basley perfectly, barely missing him. You gasp, your mouth a perfect O. The twins seem pleased with themselves, laughing together like they're sharing a secret. If you think that's impressive, watch this! They execute a sick flip on the pair of trapeze above the sort of beds of swords and make a daring escape from one of the contraptions they trapped you in. They move similarly to how they speak, perfectly in tandem with each other. With the variety of obsessions that you've seen among your friends, it figures that it was only a matter of time until you met someone who made a hobby out of risking their lives. It's not too out there compared to cage fighting, you suppose, or collecting saucy East Alternian figures. You could have just escaped from the trap we put you in earlier, you know. Why didn't you? You laughed nervously. You haven't exactly had much practice, and maybe it would have been easier if you had someone else to help. Look at the two of them pointedly. You didn't even realize siblings were a thing among trolls, let alone twins. Sibling? What's that? You know, someone you, share elusives with? Someone you hatched with in the same clutch. Are you phrasing that right? We do share elusives. We share everything! We didn't just hatch from the same clutch. We hatched from the same egg! We were going to be a single troll, but we split in two! Just our bodies, though. Our mind are still one. One person, two bodies! We are one and the same! Okay, maybe siblings aren't a thing in Alternia. After all, being literally the same person is quite different from the human concept of twins or siblings. Somehow this leads to them telling you all about their number of exploits they had with some of the other kids in their neighborhood. One story leads to another, and soon you're recounting some of your own adventures too. They particularly love your attempt of giving an impression of Nikki, clapping and crowing as you get into a dramatic power stance and flex your flimsy muscles. You can't help but feel a little proud of yourself. Like the guy in Jurassic Park who walked into the Velociraptor den. Be chill, my dudes. And they actually listened to him. Besides, there's something great about making kids laugh. Even kids who were trying to murder you less than an hour ago. The twins are in the middle of talking about a prank they played that they found hilarious, and that you've been trying hard not to grimace in horror at. When you feel it, a certain change in the air. Didn't they mention they had been stuck here? Did we? Yeah, we have. When we try to go out the door, some sort of force pushes us back. You're the first other person we've seen since we got here. You have a hunch that might have changed. Why don't you all try again? They look at you skeptically. If you want. It's not gonna be any different, though. You just tell them to trust you. You look at the front door. The twins are crowding you from either side, clinging onto your arms and edging so close it looks like they're trying to burrow into you. Ready? They nod. You push against the door. It opens, and you breathe in cool evening air. Not so fast! We've gotten this far before. But we won't be able to go any further. You'll see. You take one step, then another. As you look beyond the grounds of the house, you see things you hadn't seen when you first got here. Mountains in the distance, other houses. Before, all you could see was shrubbery. You pick up the pace. The house falls away behind you, disappearing into the fog. Wow! You did it! You actually did it! We can finally leave. They swoop in to grab you, hugging you hard. The curved horns of their mask almost stab you in their cheek. These things are a bit of a hazard when their wearers only come up about where your chest is. They keep talking before you can get a word in, pulling you forward and shuffling you along between them. It looks like you're right. It wasn't just enough to save yourself. You had to save them too. You don't know how, but the key to making this little patch of universe obey the rules of reality was friendship all along. You should have seen your face. You were shit, your Gamtube's terrified. You heave a sigh as their instant gigglings surround you like so many playful ghosts. Yes, you say, very clever. They were the ones behind all this nonsense, weren't they? You start guessing somewhere towards the end, though. You wiggle your hand vaguely. All the time stuff? They sure scared you, alright? No. That wasn't us. We were talking about the bloody walls and creepy sounds. None of that was real. That was all us. That was all Chucklevoodoos. We're the best at Chucklevoodoos. We got you so good. They both bounce aside you excitedly. You blink down at them. You have no idea what the heck Chucklevoodoos are, but you can only guess that it's some sort of illusionary thing. So they didn't have anything to do with the time messing up, folding in on itself. No. We told you. We've been trying to get out of that stupid house. For wipes. Maybe even a pedigree. Did you really think that was our hive? Our place is so much cooler than that dump. Visit their actual hive? You have your reservations about that, but you can't find it within you to say no, as they eagerly pull you along, one twin tugging at your hand while the other looping an arm with yours. You look back at the house one last time. You have no clue whether the twins are lying or if they're telling the truth. What really caused what happened here? But right now, you're content enough knowing that you'll never have to see this place ever again. Do you want to understand? Ow. That's where we're leaving it off, because as soon as I click yes, it's going to take us to the epilogue, and I'm going to save that for another episode. And I'm very upset that I don't get an end card, so I'm going to have to improvise with something. But, yeah. Once again, if you know any interesting routes for our lovely troll friends, let me know and I'll make a sticky note of it so we can explore it after the epilogue. But other than that, that is it for today's stars. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to join our wonderful galaxy. Comment down below and I'll get back to you in some way or another. And I'll see you for our next adventure. Remember, we're all made of the same cosmic dust, so be nice. Kate, love you, bye!